So first up today is Kimberly from Little Rock. Here's Kimberly's question. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about indexed universal life investments. Are these something I should be investing in? Since I've only heard good things, can you tell me more about the pros and cons? Well, way to go, Kimberly, looking for all sides there. She has been hearing only good things. Nothing can be that great, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right? That's the way the saying goes, and Kimberly's looking to find out a little bit more information. And this has kind of been, obviously it's not a new product, but it's getting some new attention.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bad penny. It just kind of keeps coming up. Yeah, and I think the first problem is Kimberly referred to this as an indexed universal life investment. It is not an investment. It is an insurance policy. That's very clear. It is built on an insurance policy chassis. It is a insurance policy that has its internal performance of the cash value tied to some index. Now, it gets pretty complicated from here, but this is something, Scott, I think that is very timely because I would bet that Kimberly has been on TikTok or maybe Instagram, because that's kind of an area where the hawkers of this index universal life policy, they go out there and basically tell all of the positive attributes, but don't really emphasize the other side of the equation. So let's kind of expose this a little bit and talk just a little bit about what index universal life is. So it's a life insurance policy that builds a cash value. Now, from my 100%, my philosophy on most people's need for life insurance is they need to have it separate, and it needs to be term life insurance because you can buy way more of it than you can any other product for the premium that you're paying for. So insurance is for insuring your life. It's actually for insuring your income to your family. This is promoted as a retirement accumulation vehicle, and you can accumulate money in an index universal life policy, but you can also accumulate money under your mattress. So that's not necessarily the best place to put it. So let's talk about what index universal life does. If you kind of think about index universal life, sort of like this cup. So you put premiums into the cup. That creates the liquid in the cup, which is called the cash value. But out of that, the insurance company is going to take the cost of insurance and the fees and the administrative charges and the commissions that are paid on this index universal life policy. But because it is an indexed related policy, it actually has got a limit or a cap on how much you can earn. So if you think about an index like the S&P 500, if the S&P 500 is up, let's say year to date, the S&P 500 is up about 15% or so. But in most cases, in an index universal life policy, you're not going to see that actual performance because you've got a cap on the performance. Right. The draw of index universal life is that it doesn't lose any money. There is no downside risk to it. The insurance company says that you will never be credited a negative rate of return, and that's attractive to people, particularly in a time when the markets are volatile and things of that nature. However, you have to think about balancing the good with the bad, and there is a cap, and as long as you're cognizant of what that cap is, that's fine. But you also have to think about what that does as far as the total end value of your accumulation is concerned. And so it's really in a tax deferred account, which is good, much like a 401k. Where I really have a problem, Scott, is when people are told, take your money out of your 401k or your IRA or something like that, pay the taxes on it, and put it into this index universal life policy, because you don't know what the taxes are going to ever go to, and you might as well go ahead and get those taxes paid now and buy this policy, because you can create tax-free income from this policy. Now, we'll get to the tax-free part in just a second, but let's first of all talk about the idea of taking money out of a qualified plan.
Yeah, so that's where I was going next. You did a great job explaining about what the product is. Now let's kind of talk about the problem with getting to that product with your life savings in a 401k or an IRA. And the reality of it is the back end of that statement is absolutely true. You'll be able to get tax-free retirement income from that vehicle, from that life insurance policy. It's how you get there that is going to potentially destroy you in taxes, because what people want you to do in these cases is to take it all out at once, right?
Yep.
So let's say you've saved $500,000. Let's just use that as a number. And they want you to withdraw that. You have to. There's no other way to do that. To get it out of the 401k, to get it out of the IRA and put it into this life insurance, you've got to pull $500,000 out at one time. Well, what does that do to you? Well, if you're in your final working year, if you do this at retirement, at least a portion of your income in your final year of work is going to be on that tax year, right? So let's say you made $100,000 in your final year of work when you do this. You've just stacked. When you withdraw that $500,000 out, you've just stacked that on top of the $100,000 in employment income. So now you've made $600,000 if you did it in this year in 2023. So that $500,000 is going to be in a very high tax bracket, and you're going to have to pay that out on your tax return in the following year to get to that tax-free income in retirement.